Hey everyone, this is Mike Smith from Xiaomi Websites, and today I want to talk a little bit more about marketing funnels, but specifically how they relate to the contact form that you might have on your website. I've got two examples of contact form here, what you might call a common style, and then also a streamlined lead magnet style. So I'm going to talk about both of these, and I'm also going to just touch briefly on the difference between a classic marketing funnel, such as in this diagram, and a digital marketing funnel with a bit more of a focus on customer relationship and retention, because digital marketing lends itself to that. So let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to focus on this component of the digital marketing funnel here. So in the conversion area, and then also customer relationship and retention, but product purchases may happen here in various ways. Now the conversion is when the visitor to your website actually completes an action. And in this particular case, we're not talking about a purchase at this stage. We're talking about an action simply being to complete one of these contact forms. Okay, so let's look at that. We are going to use our Guru canvas here to model what's going to happen when people interact with either of these two contact forms. So at the moment, they're both the same. Obviously, the form represents the opt-in. Okay, but what happens next? Let's look at that. Right, so let's look at the common style contact form, where a person simply enters their details and possibly a message, and then presses submit. So this contact form is only fairly basic logic driving that. So at the very least, there will be some kind of thank you response to filling this form out and pressing submit, and from then on, it's really up to the owner to follow up, probably with a phone call, and then perhaps an email, depending on the outcome of that phone call. Oops, let's try that again. Okay, but the person who is making the inquiry is really waiting on that phone call primarily. So this is a very manual system, and of course it would be fine for a very small business with only a few inquiries per day, but if you're trying to grow your business and scale it, this is going to become very labor intensive unless we add some kind of automation. So for example, we might automate this email to happen more or less at the same time in response to the form being filled out, and then later followed up with a phone call. So that's a fairly basic but a very common style setup on a website. Okay, now let's have a look at this streamlined lead magnet style. And as you can see, initially the form is smaller, and this translates to less perceived effort on behalf of the person making the inquiry. So if you look at the form up there, that seems like a lot of work to fill out. Obviously they don't have to fill out all the boxes, only the whatever has been deemed to be required, but this form seems like less work. So that's the first thing that you would notice about the design of this streamlined form. It's less work to fill out, therefore it's a lower threshold of effort. You're likely to have more success with a form like this. Let's just zoom in on this to have a closer look at this form, because as you can see, there are some radio buttons here and some checkboxes over here. So this form has some more advanced logic built in. Let's see what happens. So firstly, of course, we probably only need the first name, because if we're replying by email, generally we're only using a person's first name. Obviously we want someone's email, and I think I've made a mistake here. Clearly we want the email to be a required field. Now if someone clicks on one of these options, let's see what happens. I have a specific question to ask. So clicking on that opens up a text box, which was visible in the contact form above, but here it only pops up when required. So they enter their question here, and then they can select a method of being contacted. This method of contact obviously is easy as well, because again it's a radio button, and if someone selects send me an email, then that's fine because we have their email address, as long as I remember to make that a required field. If they select a phone, then another box pops up here, and generally in our business we do prefer mobiles, but in this particular case they could put a landline. However, if they select an SMS, then a different box pops up, and obviously we will need a mobile in order to send SMS. So as you can see, there's logic here, and the form adapts to what the person has requested. Let's refresh the page here and try another option. So I'll just refresh the page. Okay, so instead of this first option, let's try the second one. Contact me ASAP, please. And then it brings up that box that we saw before. How would you like us to contact you? And as you can appreciate, the same kind of logic will happen again. So that's great. If, however, they don't want to ask a specific question or ask us to contact, maybe they're just interested in the freebies. So if they click on this option, all of this stuff goes away underneath here, and then another prompt comes up on the right hand side, which is above this would you like free stuff. So let me just refresh the page here. At first it just said would you like free stuff, so that's always there, and these are checkboxes, so they can have both or one of or neither of these selected. But if they select I'm interested in the freebies, then this message that further motivates them will direct their attention to the free stuff over here, so they can select that as required. Fantastic. So this is a dynamically adaptable form, keeps a person on the one page, makes it really easy. It's a low threshold of effort, but it's going to collate some useful information that will allow us to segment the people who are inquiry into different groups, and then we can use automation to manage those groups and manage those inquiries. Okay, so what does this look like on the back end of the website in terms of the logic that our inbuilt CRM can manage? So they selected option number 1 here. This opens up a text box and also offers 3 further options for how to be contacted. And when we visualize this, we can see potential opportunities for automation. The phone call obviously needs to be manual, but the email and the SMS potentially could be automated. So it's useful to draw a diagram like this. Let's look at some of the other options now. Let's look at the second option here, contact me ASAP please. So in this case we don't have the text box up here, we just take them to a question about how to be contacted. So that's pretty easy to map out. We just go from there to there. Simple. Okay, let's look at this last option now. Yeah, no, just send me the free stuff. So if they select just interested in the freebies, then how will that work? Okay, so obviously we're directing their attention to these 2 checkboxes over here, and we can model that in our canvas over here with another box with just 2 options coming out. And so that comes out of option number 3 here. That's fine. And of course that is also available from the very beginning of this. So it's going to look a little messy, but that's okay. What about if I move that? Oh yes, okay, that works really well. So now we can see how the logic works in its entirety. And then of course also you've got your 2 options here. So let's look at how we map that. Okay, so if they select yes, I want today's discount on your premium product, then we want to take them to a sales page. So now I'm going to have to zoom out on my canvas shortly, but let's just get this going first and then I'll tidy things up. And from their sales page, because we have lots of options for people, we might offer them an upsell. and a downsell. Okay, so they've bought one product, but hey, why not offer them at least the opportunity to buy more products? And so I'll look at the details of that in a moment. But before I do that, let's look at option 2 over here. So if they are interested in future offers, this is actually fantastic for us because this allows us to send them regular updates, and that's going to take the form of a nurturing funnel, a series of emails, a newsletter. So let's have a look at how that might look. Okay, so I've just moved things around a little bit here, and we're looking at this option now where the inquirer wants to learn about future offers, and so that would be a series of emails, and on each of those emails there would be a delay. We've decided we're going to make them 30 days, 1 month, but that could be whatever is appropriate for your business. And I've just joined up 3 of these here to avoid the clutter, but as you can see, this can go on for as long as you like. So now in each of these emails we also have a call to action, and that's simply making an offer to each of these products, like so. And so if they go to that, they can go to that. If they select purchase that product, we're going to go to the upsell as well. We can also go directly to the upsell and to the downsell, and each of these can do that. So we're maximizing our opportunities each time we have a communication with our potential client. We're going to present them with the products and services that we offer. And of course this lends itself to automation because we wouldn't want to do this manually. Okay, so that's all our planning done for our streamlined lead magnet style contact form. Obviously it's going to be a lot more successful than a bog standard contact form. It's cleverer, it allows us to segment our inquirers, and it also ends up being easier to use, therefore you're more likely to have engagement with it. With our planning now, we are ready to program our website, create all the relevant pages, and also our CRM. And if you'd like to learn more about how we do that, watch our next video or contact us. So this has been Mike from Xiaomi Websites. Thanks very much for your time. Have a great day.